don't know if this will expose thing. Maybe I need to put it higher. You look great.
All right, I'm trembling. It's not taping, is it?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Disclaimer, it's 7:30 in the morning. She just woke me up. She's been threatening this video for the last week and I didn't believe it. And now it's here.
Here's the thing. My mom and I live on opposite sides of the world. She lives in Italy and I live in California. And that makes it really hard for us to see each other. But we're extremely close. We talk on the phone multiple times a day and we never really run out of things to say. But we hardly ever get to actually see each other, meaning that our in-person conversations are pretty rare. So 3 weeks ago when my parents heard that they would have to fly to the US for a citizenship thing for my mom, I jumped at the chance to come and see them. So it's been really sweet for us to get this time together and in such a beautiful place too. Right, Mom?
Right, Sophie.
What do you say? Should we show them the video?
Okay, yeah, why not?
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is my mom. Hi, Helen. We have always gotten told that we are like twins, and
No one's going to believe that for a second. Okay.
That's also her favorite follow-up joke. She's like, oh, I wish, but then she loves it. One of my mom's favorite stories to tell is that she came to my high school once. We had gotten a very similar haircut.
I've been to hair and makeup this morning, so.
That's right. This is a product of Sophie's salon. No, she came to my school and one of my friends ran up behind her and hugged her from the back and was like, Sophie! And that's her favorite story. She loves that happened.
Move on, move on.
I don't love it as much, but it's okay. Not only do we look very similar, we're also just very close. I call my mom almost every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. I was just gonna say, I don't know how she feels.
No, I love it. Seriously love it. That's important to know.
Oh, that's sweet. We just talk. We can talk and talk and talk and talk.
You know, when Callan started sort of being interested in Millie, his wife, I could hear him say, my mom says, and I said, Callan, don't say that to any woman.
It's not cool.
Not cool. So, okay, this question is going to be, how did you get your kids to talk to you?
Yeah.
I've said this many times and it's boring to anyone I've said it to, but I think the most important thing you can do is to talk to your child. The way you do that is not barrage them when they come home from school or not overload them with too much stuff, but at night, if you say prayers with your children after that, just lie with them. Just enjoy hearing them just chat and talk, and they'll tell you crazy things, and if they want you to laugh, laugh, but otherwise just let it flow. You know, stroke their back, you know, make them feel that you're almost one at that point in that conversation. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Sharing, talking, and you would think that that is obvious, but actually when I've told people that, I find that they often, you know, they tell their children things, do this, do that, do that, but then actually discovering who this wonderful human being, get to know that soul and communicate.
Well, I can also imagine that you can get caught up in the day-to-day. Bedtime is such an exhausting time. You want to get through it and then you have your own time to yourself. So I can imagine that that's not second nature to some people.
Yeah, well, most people, you know, Dad would just fall asleep with you guys. A few words and then...
Yeah. I remember even being in high school and being in my bedroom. Like, I would just put myself to sleep, obviously, but I would be like, Mom! I just wanted her to come in. At that point, that was a routine. Yeah.
I wanted that because I had had in my childhood an incident that was, you know, difficult for me. And I remember desperately wanting to talk to my mom, but being scared to. And I needed her advice at that time, but I hadn't had the practice of that. And my mother was busy. She was constantly busy, busy, busy. And I longed for her. And I had the best mother. But this longing that I had, I didn't want my kids to feel like to get my attention was going to be a struggle. That's intense. More than I wanted to share.
Well, I didn't know that about your mom. Another thing that people know about me, if they're close to me, is that I love love. I'm just like obsessed. I'm obsessed with reading about it, experiencing it, talking about it. I remember my middle school friend came to my wedding. She said to me like, finally, this is the day you've been waiting for. Not everybody is gonna get married or wants to get married, but like partnership, you know, like long-term partnership. From a very young age, I wanted that so badly because my parents have a beautiful partnership, I could just tell it was a sanctuary. Like, I'm thinking about watching you guys as a kid now, and I could tell this is a safe place for them, and I want that. Over the years, you've given me great advice about marriage and love and finding the right person for you.
Oh gosh, there's a lot that comes into it, obviously. One thing is that, you know, you're bringing in two different cultures. So then you have an amalgam in your marriage, and that is your culture. Whatever you bring in may be something that your spouse will adopt or your partner will adopt, and it will make your lives better. And that is what happens when you have the joining of cultures. Gosh, it's so much, but it's about coming home, you know. If you meet someone and you have this feeling that you're coming home to them, then it's that safe harbor. And then, I mean, there's the usual things of what's important to you.
Oh, pause here for a second. I want to highlight something that my mom forgot to mention, but that she's always told me, and I found to be really helpful. She told me to make a list of the top 5 qualities that I wanted in a future partner, and making that list not only helped me to focus on what I needed in somebody, but also it helped me to recognize those qualities when I saw them in other people. Anyway, back to her.
For me, it's laughter. Laughter is the cure-all. And Dale and I can laugh at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll think of something funny and we'll wake each other up and say, hey, I took things from my own upbringing, but also go to the best practices, look around, see what you like in other people's marriages or other people's parenting styles. One was actually that there should be like a crystal glass between you. And, you know, occasionally you'll take little jabs at it because your spouse annoys you. You know, there's nothing you can do. They're going to annoy you. So, but careful not to put a chink in that glass because it will break and then it's very hard to put back together. So I think there is a respect, in other words. There is a point where you don't go. A shattered glass you cannot put back together. So I think when there are issues that arise, you have to step back and also think about what you're bringing into it that may be destructive.
When you said that thing about laughing, I was remembering this time when, like I said, I'm obsessed with love. Every time I was getting to know somebody or dating somebody, I thought I was going to marry them. And I was a freshman in college, getting to know this guy who I thought, we're gonna get married.
Every guy was
And there were some really wonderful things about our friendship, like we helped each other to be of service to our communities, and that was something I really wanted in a relationship. So I saw that and I was like, okay, great, this is it. And I was talking to my dad and I was telling him about this relationship, and he paused and he said, have you ever laughed together? And that's such a simple question.
Simple, but
it was like everything just like unraveled in my head, and I was like, wow, no, we haven't. That was the end of that. But I see that so much in your relationship, how laughter has played such a role.
Yeah, you have to sometimes take a step back and just say, this is funny. So.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that. I like that crystal analogy. I think that's helpful for anybody who's in a marriage.
Because respect is something that when you live with someone day in, day out, can become
eroded. I follow a John Gottman Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
The Instagram posted a quote from his book, and they said that you have to realize at the end of the day you're on the same team. And sometimes that's hard. You like get caught up in an argument. You have to take a step back and realize, well, neither of us want to shatter this crystal.
And the other thing that I didn't say is that also you make a choice. I remember 2 weeks into our marriage, you know, the honeymoon was over, we were living in this awful apartment in New Hampshire.
And my mom had been born and raised in London, in the city.
Like, New Hampshire was definitely not where I...
Not that.
It was bad. And I looked across. I saw a stranger lying in my bed. I said, what have you done now, Helen? It was just this intense fear. This may not be what I should have done. And I got up out of bed. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I supplicated and I said, if this is not right, make it right. From that point onwards, I have not once in my marriage said, who is this man? I got angry with this man. And he's got very angry with this woman. And I think there's a decision you make and then you move forward. Because I'm the most indecisive person on the planet. That was important that I make that decision and not look back.
Right. And I think, for anyone who doesn't pray, it's just a mindset.
Exactly.
Okay, it's happened and we're going to make this work.
We're moving forward. We're going to make this work. Probably would have anyway, but I needed, for me, in my personality, to say, this is it. There is no other way.
Yeah.
I've never had that doubt again, actually.
Yeah. I think that's helpful for anybody who may be in a position where they start to have doubts. Because you had that experience, and then you've had 34 years of really happy marriage.
It's a blessing. I understand that it's a blessing.
Yeah.
But it's also a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing, this is the last thing maybe. I really had to coerce my mom to do this with me. She did not want to do
No,
this.
and I didn't know the questions.
Well, okay, so you guys carted us around to various countries.
Our portable kids.
I knew this growing up, that you had a knack for settling in a place, but I think it wasn't until I moved to LA that I realized, oh, this really is a skill that my mom has, you know, finding your community and also finding the places that you like to go, like finding your spots.
How long have you got? And one tip that I couldn't. One thing I will say, there is nothing worse than people who say, well, in my last country, you know. So nobody wants to hear that you had elephants at a birthday party. They're just not interested. And it makes them feel inadequate. So you don't look back. And this is your new place. And every place has something fantastic and amazing about it. Generally, it's the people. People will always surprise you in their depth and the interesting lives that they lead.
Get to know people.
Most people are good people.
Yeah.
So I walk in everywhere. Nothing stops me. I go here, go there.
My mom is particularly brave, just like confident, socially confident.
You know, that comes from my father, because my father would talk to everyone, you know, and I would be so mortified as a child. But then I would notice that people liked it.
I have felt that you have always been this way, and so I sometimes am really embarrassed, like, oh mom, they don't care, they just want to live their lives, they don't want to go about their day, please stop. But by the same token, what you just said about like every person has a story, I think I really got that from you. I just find people endlessly fascinating.
Me too. Endlessly fascinating. If I have any regrets, like I saw somebody ask the question, what were her dreams? Those dreams have totally changed, because, you know, when I was little, I wanted to be a princess. And so it evolves, right? Damn Meghan Markle. One of the things more recently, I wish I could have become a therapist, because I love people.
You
I love
would have been so good at that.
No, I don't think necessarily.
Well, not
good.
whatever. But you would have.
People
you would have.
That's a natural. Would pay people to hear their stories.
You know, I was writing a story the other day. Actually, I was writing about how I have always wanted to mine the deepest parts of people,
right.
But I realized that not everybody wants to be mined, and I think you are a miner. I am a miner.
Oh. You know, there is this very special person that I know, and someone said about him that he has this ability to dive deep, take a gem, hold it to the light so that you can see its beauty. And then put it back.
The story was...
Oh, you remember this?
He has an ability to dive into the ocean, pull out a pearl, and then bring it to the light. So that makes more sense than a gem. A gem, why is a gem in the ocean?
Well, because there's a treasure chest and it emptied out. Gee.
Yeah, you're a miner and I'm a miner, and I think that's a wondrful quality. I'm really grateful to you that you raised me in that way, or gave that to me. So thank you.
Thank you for being my daughter.
Mama.
I didn't say all the things I needed to say. Was it okay?
That was good. This is my mom's first YouTube video.
Oh God! In the words of the infamous Nathan Rainsford, I'm not used to going viral.
He's gonna love that he got a mention. I love you.
I love you, hon. Stop that thing. Stop it.
Did you have fun?
I did, actually. It's very difficult.
I mean, you have... Oh, yes! There she is! Princess!
That baby gets way more attention than me.